afternoon and welcome to our afternoon Money Making Mom Scope. And I just had to laugh because I just titled this How to Find Balance, a Healthy Balance as a Work-at-Home Mom, and I turned on the camera and right there you could see a plate and part of my desk, and that's just life as a work-at-home mom. It's like my lunch plate that I ate at my desk a little while ago, and that's just life sometimes, isn't it? So glad to have you all joining us. For those of you who are new, my name is Crystal Payne, and I'm the founder of MoneySavingMom.com, as well as the New York Times bestselling author of the book Say Goodbye to Survival Mode. Hi, Lori. And I am also the creator of the 14-day online course called Make Over Your Mornings, and that's at makeoveryourmornings.com. And I am the author of the soon-to-be-released book, Money Making Mom, How Every Woman Can Earn More and Make a Difference. If you are looking for practical ideas for how to increase your income, how to use your gifts and your passions and your skills, how to marry those with something that's going to earn income, this book is for you. And you can pick it up on Amazon. Right now, you can pre-order it on Amazon or barnesandnoble.com. And when you pre-order, be sure to go to moneymakingmombook.com, and you can read all about the free bonuses that we have when you pre-order, and I'm really excited about those. Also, when you go to moneymakingmombook.com, you can find out details on our free 5-day course on how I make a full-time income from home. That's at moneymakingmombook.com. Thank you so much for putting the link in the comment box. So, today, we're going to be talking about how to find a healthy balance as a work-at-home mom. Even if you're not a mom, I feel like that hopefully the questions and the suggestions and the different things that we're going to be tackling here will help you as you look to find balance in your business, whether you work outside the home, whether you are thinking of starting a business, or whether you work from home. I kind of told you my credentials as far as a businesswoman. I also wanted to tell you, for those of you who are new, I am wife to Jesse. We've been married for almost 13 years, and we have 3 kids. Catherine is 10, Caitlin is 8, and Silas is 6. And we live in the Nashville, Tennessee area, and we homeschool, and we are both self-employed entrepreneurs. So that's a little bit about me. And so yes, I'm a work-at-home mom, and I have been running my own business, some type of business from home, for the last 10 years. So I've had lots of challenges and made lots of mistakes along the way. But today's question comes from Nikki, and the question is, do you have advice for work-at-home moms who have a hard time leaving the office by 5 p.m.? I can't relax with work needing to be done. And by leaving the office, I think she's referring to setting aside your work at home so that you can just be fully engaged with life. So I need to be right up front with you and tell you that this is something that I've struggled with. This is something that I don't always do a good job of. I'm in the middle of launching a book that comes out November 3rd. And so guess what that means? There's a lot of extra responsibilities on my plate right now. So honestly, just yesterday, my husband was telling me, you have been working too much, and that is true. So I'm a work in progress with this, and I just want to put that out there, that I am learning right along with you. But I wanted to share some tips and some tricks and some suggestions that have helped me that might help you as you think through how to have a healthy balance, and might also give you some inspiration for something else that might help you. So, number 1, you really need to set boundaries. Set boundaries, and by this I mean that you know yourself, and you can figure out what are your downfalls. So maybe for you that is you are spending too much time answering emails, or you're being distracted by your emails. I recently took my main email address off of my phone because I discovered that when I was going to bed at night, because my alarm is on my phone, I would check my phone before I went to bed. And guess what? Since my alarm is on my phone, it wakes me up in the morning. And so then I would check my email as soon as I got up. And then that meant that there was very little time in my day that I wasn't thinking about business, because before I went to bed, a lot of the times there would be some emails on there and then it would get my brain thinking about business stuff. And then when I woke up in the morning, there'd be emails on there and it'd be getting my brain thinking about business stuff as well. So taking my main email address off of my phone has really helped me to not be so distracted. So I had to set that boundary for myself so that when I go to bed, I can just go to bed and not be having my brain buzz with all of that. When I'm out somewhere, I'm not getting interrupted by emails on my phone. That was one boundary that I had to set for myself. I think it's also important for you to know your personality. This morning we talked about, in my 7:30 a.m. morning motivation show, we talked about being introverted versus extroverted, and also our Myers-Briggs. So my Myers-Briggs is INTJ. And that means that I have a sense of high responsibility. And I cannot stand to not be on top of projects. Some people, like my husband, he can easily compartmentalize. He can easily shut off. My friend Joy, my manager, she can go and she can have 100 things going on and 100 deadlines, and she can shut it all off and she can go and just be with her friends and be fully engaged. Whereas me, if I have a bunch of deadlines, I have a hard time shutting it off. I have a hard time not thinking, that's due tonight. I really need to get that done. I really need to get that done. And so knowing your personality, hi Ryan, knowing your personality really helps you to then, not compare yourself to other people, to someone who can shut it all off, but to realize for me, I have a high sense of responsibility. So being okay with, I'm going to have to be more on top of things, because that's going to make me be able to breathe more and feel calmer. So what can I do to set boundaries so I'm not feeling overwhelmed and that I'm able to shut it off? Thanks, Ryan. That's so kind of you. One of the other things that I do, and I've talked about this before, is during our homeschool time in the morning, I put my computer and my phone upstairs or somewhere away from where we are doing school. That way I'm not tempted to go check in or check on it. I also have turned off pretty much all notifications so that my phone is never dinging at me, buzzing at me, that there are not notifications popping up on my laptop as I'm working on a project. So setting those boundaries helps. Sometimes it's just turning the phone and the computer off. We do that on Sundays. We turn a lot of our electronics. I don't blog on Sundays, and I don't really do any email or anything on Sundays. So turning it off allows me to be able to just completely shut it off and forget that it exists. And also setting up that standard from the get-go of Sundays being off, Sundays being the off day, then for me, I feel like I have no responsibility to anyone on the computer, so I can totally turn it off. At some seasons of my life when I've really struggled with getting on the computer and being on there and spending too much time, I have actually done something that's a little bit, I'm trying to think what the word is, kind of, I don't know, I'm like, the word is not coming to me, but pretty strong. Something that is, sometimes you just have to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, I need an intervention. And so that's what I had to do. And we set up parental controls on my computer. My husband helped me set them up. This was, yes, extreme. That's a great word. We've had to do extreme. Thank you. I was not thinking of it. So sometimes you just have to get a little extreme and have an intervention. And that's what I had to do. And so parental controls on the computer so that it would not turn on except for during my business time. You can also do, I think it's a leech block that you can use that will block certain sites at certain times so that you can't get on them. So if you're being distracted by Facebook, if you're being distracted by other sites, you can block them so that you can't get on them at certain times. So one, set boundaries, and maybe one of those boundaries is you just need to do less. If you can't shut it off at some time in the day, if you can't ever shut it off and walk away from it, you might need to just slow it down and do less. Number 2, use Google Calendar. I've talked about this before, but I wanted to mention again because this is something that really helps me to have balance. When I think of something, and I'm constantly thinking of all of these things that I need to do. Nikki talked about in her question, she has a hard time leaving the office and she can't relax with all the work that she needs to have to get done. So for me, Google Calendar kind of serves as my assistant. So when I think of something that I need to do, I add it as an all-day task to another day. So I look through and I say, okay, next Tuesday, I don't have that much going on. And so I am going to go ahead and put it on Tuesday. And then it's someplace and it's in a system and I'll see it on Tuesday, but it's out of my mind. And that helps free up my mind so I can shut things down at night. So when I think of something, adding it as an all-day task to my Google Calendar. Number 3 is create time blocks. So create time blocks. What do you have to do during the day? What are the projects that you do every single day? What are the things that you need to do as a wife and a mom? Creating time blocks has really helped me to compartmentalize. So I've talked about how I homeschool in the morning and my husband homeschools in the afternoon. So time blocks for me, in the morning, I'm fully present on homeschooling. In the afternoon, I'm fully present on working. So creating those time blocks and compartmentalizing, that has helped me to be fully all where I am when I'm there versus feeling like, okay, I'm going to try to teach this math lesson and I'm going to answer these 3 emails and then I'm going to teach this spelling test and then and being all over the place and not getting anything done well. So creating time blocks helps me to compartmentalize, and then I can have the time block at night where it is time with the family. Tonight we're going to my husband's softball game. He's on a softball league with our church and going to the softball game, and I can just check out and be at the softball game because I've compartmentalized that. So compartmentalizing time with your family, that might sound weird or that might sound extreme to use that word again, but sometimes people with my personality, especially where you have that high sense of responsibility, to compartmentalize helps me to be able to be all where I am, and so to be fully present after 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. as it sometimes is with my family. Number 4, get accountability. Get accountability. So what do you need to put in place to help you stay accountable to not letting the business take over your life? Because when you have your own business, it can take over your whole life. Because guess what? The business is in your home. And so you can never just leave the office because it's at your home. And the work will never be done. That is the truth. 10 years of running my own business, many different kinds of businesses, and I can tell you for certain, the work will never be done. So you can choose to either set some accountability in place, set up those time blocks, set those boundaries, use Google Calendar, whatever it is that you need to do, or it's going to completely stretch you out, burn you out, run you over, and leave you exhausted. The work is never done. You don't understand how to time block with toddlers. Well, when you have toddlers, if you don't have a babysitter, and then you need to really lower your expectations of what you're going to be able to do. So either nap time, when I had toddlers, nap time, early morning, and late at night. That's what I did. And then as time went on and the business grew, then I got a mother's helper who came in once a week, and then we got some extra help so that I had time blocks where I had a babysitter or my mom or somebody who was helping watch our kids so that I could be fully present on the business. Maybe that is not a good fit for your family to do something like that. And if that's the case, then you're going to probably need to scale back on your expectations of your business, because nap time, early morning time, late at night time, and I really don't recommend doing early morning and late at night and nap time, because that means that you get no time for rest and no time for yourself, no time to refuel. So maybe you say, I can only work during nap time, all right? I'm going to get up early and I'm going to work for an hour, and that's what I have to do. I've done things also, DVDs for my kids or something like that. Sometimes they will play out in the backyard. When they were little, they'd play out in the backyard. We had a fenced-in yard, and I'd sit there with my computer and work. So you can get creative, but when you have toddlers, you've got to give yourself grace and you've got to lower your expectations. And unless you have someone coming in and babysitting so that you can fully focus, know that there's going to be a lot of interruptions. And that is just how it's going to be. Don't get frustrated with it because that's just the season of life that you're in. So number 1, set boundaries. Number 2, use Google Calendar. Number 3, create time blocks. And number 4, get some accountability in place. And this can look different things for different people. One friend that I know, I've told you this before, she has a closed sign on her office door. She has an office and she has a closed and open sign. And when she leaves her office at night, she turns around the sign that says closed. That is her indicator that she is done with work for the day. I would leave my computer in there. I might even leave my phone in there if I were her, because that is how you close it all off and you forget about it until the next day. Accountability for me right now looks like me telling my husband, this is the plan that I have come up with and this is when I'll be done. So today, because I had a lot of projects that I needed to do before end of day today, and I am in the middle of book launch and there's just a lot going on, and I wanted to be able to go to the softball game tonight. So I told my husband, I had him look at the list. I said, this is my plan for this afternoon. I need to stick with it. And so he said, okay, I'm going to take a picture of your list on my phone, so then you have that accountability in place of you've told me this is your plan. Because sometimes I get distracted and I get a little bit squirrely and I'll be like, oh, I should deal with that, and oh, I should fix that, and oh, look at that site. And then I don't stay focused. So giving him my plan and handing it to him for him to take that picture of, then I knew that I was accountable to him for following through with that plan. And also just setting the accountability of writing out a plan. That's been very helpful for me during business hours when I'm fully focused on business, writing out, this is what I'm going to do first, this is what I'm going to do next, and writing out times next to it so that I am accountable to those times, and then I have a plan in place that says, okay, I have 4 hours and I'm going to do this 3.5 hours of work to give myself a little bit of margin. So adding in the time blocks, prioritizing my list also helps me to get more done and to not just go round and round and round in circles and get distracted and put out fires, but not be able to actually have anything to show for those 4 hours of work. So number 1, set boundaries. Number 2, use Google Calendar. Number 3, create time blocks. And number 4, put some accountability in place. Those are some things that have helped me. There's so much more that I could share, but those were just some quick tips that I thought of that I wanted to pass on to you. I'd love to hear from the rest of you. If you have a business, not only let us know what your business is in the comments. I'd love to check it out. If you have a website, if you have an Etsy shop, if you have a book that you've written, if you have a brick and mortar store and you have a website for it, tell us about it in the comments. And then I would also love to hear your tips. How do you make sure that the business doesn't take over your life? How do you find a healthy balance when you're working between work and life? Tell us about it because I'd love to hear your tips. Someone said, how do you do it while homeschooling? For me, it's that my husband and I are in the business together. I homeschool in the morning and he homeschools in the afternoon. So I'm fully present in the morning while he works, and then he's fully present in the afternoon while I work. It doesn't always work perfectly like that, but that is our basic routine, and that is how I'm able to homeschool, because we co-homeschool. If my husband didn't homeschool with me, I either could not be working full-time hours, though I don't work from 8 to 5, but I work full-time hours because I work in the mornings and then a longer period in the from 12:30 to about 5:30 or 6:30 every afternoon, and then some on Saturdays as well. So it's adds up to be about 40 hours a week. But I could never do that if we weren't working as a team together, my husband and I. And so us being a team and us co-homeschooling, that's how I'm able to do it. So I just saw a bunch of you told me about your business and some tips, and I can't wait to go back and read about it. And remember that if you have a question that you would love for me to answer in a future Money Making Mom scope, be sure to tweet at me My Twitter is @MoneySavingMom, or go to MoneySavingMom.com, and through our contact form, you can leave your question there. And I'm looking at all of those and choosing ones that I feel like have fairly broad appeal that I'm choosing questions to answer in future scopes. So that's @MoneySavingMom on Twitter or MoneySavingMom.com through the contact form. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to check out Money Making Mom book, where you can read more about my new book, How Every Woman Can Earn More and Make a Difference. And also, you can read about and sign up for our free 5-day course on how I make a full-time income from home. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow. I know it's Saturday, but I have a scope planned for tomorrow, a Money Making Mom scope, and I can't remember what it's about, but I have it planned on my calendar, and I will look forward to chatting with you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central Time. So I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'll see you tomorrow.